Interviews are so stressful, but they're a necessary evil. We need them to be able to get to where we want to be professionally. Now, imagine having to include a camera, zero human contact. It makes the whole process seem so impossible. I've been where you are, where I've wondered how I'm going to come across in front of a camera, how I'm going to present myself in front of a camera, and how the other people on the other side of the camera are going to view me and be able to even know my personality without me being there physically. Now, if you are in this dilemma, I got you. That's the reason why I made this video today, where I'm going to give you top tips on how to prepare for your next video interview. Stay tuned until the end because I've prepared a little present for you in the spirit of Christmas. Well, this is my Christmas gift to you. I've prepared an interview checklist for you. So if you watch all the way to the end, then you can be able to download this free checklist. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Tino and let's get right into it. I've put in timestamps as always, so if you want to skip through the video, then you can as well do that. The first tip is for you to prepare your environment. So this includes surroundings, the visual or your video, as well as your audio. Now, imagine walking into a cluttered room or into a cluttered bedroom. That will just throw you off because there are numerous distractions right there in your face. And it can also throw off your interviewers if by any chance any part of that clutter is within the frame of your video. So if you're at home, use your home office if you have one, or if you have a bedroom that you don't use or a spare bedroom that is not used, then just use that bedroom, or even your own bedroom as long as there is no clutter or things just thrown around. Also ensure that you have a clear or neutral background. You don't want pictures of your family showing out or, anything personal or intimate, because that does not give a professional look. Another thing that you need to ensure is you are at home alone, because you want to do away with any distractions. You're in the middle of an interview and then you hear your baby crying. Obviously, the maternal instinct or the paternal instinct would be to run and be with your baby or attend to your baby, and that can distract your train of thought. Another distraction could be your toddler running into the room, or even your husband or wife walking into the room while you are in an interview, and that could cause a distraction. So try to be home alone, at least for your interview. Ensure that the lighting is good, because there is no point in conducting a video interview where you're not seen. They need to see you so they can see your facial expressions, they can see your engagement and things like that. So if at all possible, please get a ring light, or if the weather permits and there's the sun outside and you have a window, just position yourself in front of the window. Never have the window behind you or light behind you, because that's just a distraction. Well, this is the point where I embarrass myself. So I will digress a bit on this particular topic. When I got interviewed for this job that I'm currently in, I was at work in my previous role, and then I thought I could be Supergirl. I didn't take the day off, like the whole day off. I told myself if I took the whole day off, I would just spend the day worrying about what they're going to ask me, start to read on things that are not necessary, etc., etc. I had an afternoon interview. So I chose to go to work in the morning and then finish around 12 because my interview was for 3. So I thought if I finish at 12 and then I head home, I can prepare for my interview. Little did I know. Now, I went to work and then I was working. I tried to put my mind off the interview totally. And then the folds that we were attending to took longer. And I didn't get to finish until around 1:30, 2. So imagine rushing from site back to my workplace, dropping everything off, then picking my car up and going home in time for 3. I got home at around 2:45. I had to dress accordingly because I was in my overalls from work. So I had to change, dress accordingly, test my equipment and just put myself in order before the interview. Now, I got to 3 o'clock and the interviewers got into the chat room and I was not ready. And guess what I did? I was holding my laptop, literally moving around, trying to find the best lit place. And the worst part was I had so much light behind me, they couldn't even see me. I was getting frustrated, and you can just imagine it was just a disaster. Honestly, it was bad. But they were kind enough to tell me, you know what, settle down, find an ideal place to sit, and then we can start the interview. So this is me telling you, or at least you can take away something from my experience. Please make sure you know where you're going to sit for your interview before the time for the interview. And if you can, if you're working currently, and if you can, please take that day off, because it's honestly not worth it. I had to hustle and bustle just to make it for the interview. Don't be like me. Now, another thing, like I said, if you don't have a window that just gives natural light, then you might consider buying a ring light. And then the third thing that I said in terms of your environment is the audio. Make sure that there's no background noise. If you have headphones that have mouthpiece, then try use those because they block out any kind of feedback and things like that. So test your audio and your visuals as well as your surroundings. The second tip is to test your equipment. So this comprises of your internet connection, your camera, your microphone, as well as any other accessory that you plan on using during the interview. Now, a tech glitch can really mess up a good or even a great interview. You know, obviously we can't cancel out any errors that might arise during the course of the interview, but anything that you can rectify on the day before, please make sure you do so. If at all this interview is going to be conducted on a platform that you're not familiar with, make sure that you familiarize yourself with the platform a day before, so that when the time comes, you don't go bustling around and failing to connect or even to be heard during the interview. So if you're conducting the interview on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Skype, just make sure you're familiar with the platform and how to manipulate it for you to be able to come across as, you know, the best version of yourself. Now, when it comes to your internet connection, if you have fiber Wi-Fi, make sure that it's a strong connection, and just for backup, make sure your phone has enough broadband. That way, if your Wi-Fi starts acting up, you can always hotspot your laptop or your other phone or whatever. And then another thing, redundancy is as old as tale, I don't know. But if you're thinking of holding your interview on your computer, just make sure you have your phone as backup, because you never know what might happen with your computer. It might just wake up one day and decide, well, I'm done working, I'm just not going to work today. So you want to also be able to have the interview. So have your phone as a backup and vice versa. If you think you're going to do it on your phone, then use your laptop as a backup. And then another thing that I would suggest is coming up or buying a webcam. It's not important, but if you just want to enhance your interview, then a webcam would do well. But honestly, it's not essential. The camera on your laptop or the camera on your phone is more than sufficient for your interview. So just make sure you've tested your audio as well to ensure that you can hear and you can also be heard, because there's no interview where people can't hear each other, and it would be so sad for your interview to just get cancelled because of a glitch or a technical error, because these kinds of chances don't, just come by easily. So ensure that your audio is working well, you're familiar with the software that you're going to be using, your camera is working, your phone or your laptop is working and is fully charged, as well as your internet connection. The third tip that is important when preparing for your video interview is to ensure that you dress professionally. Just because it's a virtual interview doesn't mean you get to dress anyhow. Well, for engineers, I know most of the time we spend our days in our coveralls or overalls or work suits and things like that. Well, for this particular day, get your suit and tie. It's important, so dress accordingly. Make sure you just don't overdress. Loud colors or bright patterns or too many accessories for women, those things can be distracting. So just ensure that you have a polished look. Remember, I always say when you dress well and you look well and you just feel amazing, and that will ensure that you have this other confidence to you when you come across in the interview. Another thing is, please do not dress from the top to your waist. Dress all the way down, because you never know, you might need to stand up when you want to illustrate something, or for whatever reason you might need to stand up. So just dress all the way through professionally. I remember back in COVID times when people were working from home and you have interviews or you have meetings, people would just dress from their head to their waist, have a shirt and a tie and then pajama bottoms, or have a blouse and nice makeup and everything like that with your pajama bottoms. So don't do that. Dress professionally all the way through, because you never know, you might need to stand up, you might need to do this, you might need to do that. So just be prepared. And like I said, try to steer clear of loud colors and designs and patterns and accessories, because those can just be distracting. The fourth tip when you're preparing for your video interview is to practice. Practice. Because it's so important to come across well, especially when you have a camera between you and your interviewer. So practice all those commonly asked questions. Tell us about yourself, what makes you think you're the best candidate for this, or the situational questions where you get to employ the STAR method and things like that. So practice. A good way to practice for your video interview is to use Google Warm-Up or Interview Prep by LinkedIn, because these can help you practice for a video interview because they offer video features. The fifth and final tip is to mind your body language and eye contact. It is so easy to think that when you are on a video, when you're looking at the screen, you're actually looking at the other person. But for you to actually maintain or at least have that idea of eye contact, look directly at your camera lens and not at the screen of your phone or the screen of your laptop. Look at the camera, and that will just give an impression of eye contact. Also, make sure that you have a good posture, sit up straight, and avoid fidgeting, because fidgeting can come off as you being uncomfortable or you not being confident. And another thing is, when you are having a physical interview, it's so easy to show off your confidence. It's also easy to show off your personality and all that. Now, when you have a camera between you and your interviewer, it's difficult to portray those things. So your body language is what they will be reading. So if you're fidgeting, if you're playing around with papers, or if you're playing around with your hands and your fingers, it may come off as, I'm uninterested, or I'm not confident, or I don't know what I'm talking about, when in actual fact, maybe you're just not used to having a camera in front of you. So just imagine there's no camera and those people are right in front of you. So have good body language and keep eye contact. That way you come off as confident, and you also help them read the right you, instead of them then just reading a few things of your body language and then discarding you because, well, you don't have good engagement or you don't seem interested in the interview. So like I said, the right posture, sit up straight, eyes on the camera lens, not on the screen, and ensure that you're not fidgeting around or moving things around. Just be in the interview. Now, if you've reached this far, congratulations, you are more than ready for your next video interview. Like I said, if you've reached this far, you have a little present from me to you, which is an interview prep checklist. So click the link in the description and then go download the free interview prep checklist. I know. Merry Christmas to you. So yeah, get that and make sure you tick all those things before the day of your interview to ensure that you have everything prepared and you're ready to go for your interview. So until next time, be sure to leave a question or a comment in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.